going live. Let's see if, oh my goodness. Let's see if YouTube, okay, YouTube should be good. Okay, and I really want to get Instagram up on this. Instagram likes to act funny. And so we'll see how this goes. This does not want to charge. Oh, I just love it. You just gotta love it. And you know what? I should be able to stream, even if it's for a small amount of time. Even if it's for just a small amount of time, I'm still gonna stream live. Hey y'all, hey, how are you guys doing? Let me see if Instagram wants to act right. Instagram does not like me. At least streaming live, it doesn't. But we're gonna see what it does. Hey, Akina. Okay, hey YouTube. So I'm seeing. Okay, so hello YouTube. I see Cleo's on YouTube. Wait, you're tuning in from YouTube? So hello, Hakina Brodiak. Hello. Hey guys. You love my tutorials. Listen, thank you so much for being a part of the tribe. Thank you so much. I'm glad that you are part of the YouTube tribe. Thank you so much. Let's see here. On let me actually put this on here. Let me see Facebook. Let's see who's on Facebook tonight. Mary, Janae. Hey guys. Mary, Janae, Alan, Travis, Tamika, Kenjanika, Larika, Erica, excuse me, Portia. I should know Erica. I should know Erica's name by heart. Right. That's my girl, Portia, Timony, Portia. Hey guys. Hey Brown. Hey girl. Hey guys. Hey everyone. How are you doing? So I am home. I just taught, I taught a 2-hour and 15-minute e-commerce class tonight. So your girl's a little bit tired, but I need to show up and make sure I'm giving you guys the content that you guys desire and ask for. So I need to do my job, and I teach you guys to show up. So guess what we got to do? We have to show up. So we're going to dive into this content. I'm going to be dishing out some videos this week, probably almost if not every day, at least every other day. And we're going to be focusing this week on 2 things, especially on my YouTube channel. I've been getting a lot of comments in reference to, hey, Mary Womack. I've been getting a lot of comments and inboxes in reference to product and journal development. And there's a ton of content on my YouTube channel about that and e-commerce. But as some of you guys know, if hopefully not all, I have a 4-week journal and planner boot camp coming up, virtual. So I definitely want to get some content out, at least free stuff. But we're going to jump into this video. And this is all about how to create a movement with free strategies. Because as you guys know, it doesn't really matter how many products you create. The biggest issue for people is the fact that they can't sell them. Right. So as someone who is a platform coach, right, my job is to teach you on how to build your platform that is going to reach the world, reach your tribe, reach your targeted audience. Right. And of course, I also teach product development because you have to monetize your mind. But then we're going to always come back to tribe. We're going to always come back to community. And tonight I want to almost serve this as like a masterclass. Hey, YouTube. YouTube's in the house tonight. Hey, guys. Oh, guys. Okay. So I want to use this time tonight to be almost like a masterclass. So you're going to need a notebook or a pen or pad, because tonight is going to be a class. Okay, it's not going to be something you just watch and lean back. It's going to definitely be a class, and we're going to dive into the content. So the very first thing you need to understand is that you cannot come into running a company, especially if you're running one that requires a mass movement, right? Where you're going to be looking to sell to a lot of people. Any that is highly expensive one, then volume. You guys know that V word that I'm really big on, which is volume. If I'm selling products that are low priced or below a certain threshold, then I know that the only way to make my millions is what? Volume. The only way to hit 6 figures, volume. If you sell a product that's $24.99, how many do you need to sell to even come up or hit $10,000 to $20,000 a month? right? How are you going to do that, right? The V word, volume. You have to sell a lot, which means that you have to learn how to gather people. And one of the things I was teaching to my e-commerce class for these, again, I'm teaching a 4-week boot camp in person, and we touched back on this tonight, which is that you have to gather people. A lot of people have this random thought that somehow because you made product and because you know your target customer and all that good stuff, that somehow you're going to make a ton of money. You can know your target customer up and down a wall. You can know them like the back of your hand. But if you're not pushing product or service out, you're going to be broke, right? So let me just introduce myself before we deep dive, because if you cannot tell already, I'm very cutthroat and not in a harsh way. I just like to go straight to the point. My name is Justice Dorsey, and I am a platform coach, which means that I teach you how to build platforms that inside of those platforms rest products or services where they come from the monetization of your mind. So I'm always about taking your mind, turning it into money, and building ultimately a platform. And so I've been doing this for several years now. I started out as a graphic and web designer, and then I built up my businesses, and I launched other ones. And of course, I'm still also a part of the family business. But in all of this, I have a passion to teach entrepreneurs and leaders how to really build businesses that have amazing profit, where you're gathering people, and more importantly, that you're making really an awesome platform and walking in your purpose. But I am always still about the coins, because a lot of people's issue is not walking in purpose, and it's not, oh, loving what they do. No, the problem with most people is that they're not making any money walking in their purpose. Okay. And so my goal is that I am that voice in your ear to really bring reason to some of the moves that you make and really have a strategic way of going about gathering your coins, okay? Because you don't have time or energy to waste, okay? You need to be the most strategic as possible, right? And also knowing that it's going to take time, right? So don't come into this unrealistic, okay? So now that you know a little bit more about me, let's jump into how to build a movement with free strategies. The first thing is that most people think that they're building a movement when they're not. Let's kind of get some things out the way. Most people think that they're building a movement, but they're not. And I'm going to tell you why. Because movements, this is very key, so please understand this. There's a difference between a movement and gathering people. There's a huge difference. There's a huge difference. There's a huge difference. Okay. And for those of you who are part of my YouTube community, part of my Facebook, Instagram, whatever, there's a huge difference between gathering people and actually creating a movement. Those are two separate things. Okay. A lot of people think that because they have the gift to gather, that they have the gift to create a movement. And they're not. I'm going to say that again. They're not the same thing. So what actually is a movement? To me, a movement is where you move people to actually adopt a lifestyle that creates some kind of change or transformation. I'm going to say it again. A movement is such, this is my definition, where you are gathering people, right? And they are committing or walking in a lifestyle of some kind that leads them to change or transformation. So if you're just gathering people just to gather people, you don't have a movement unless they have adopted a lifestyle, okay? And you have to create what that lifestyle looks like, okay? And we're going to talk about that. Creating a lifestyle that brings forth transformation. That is called a movement. Okay, that's a movement. So they need to be moving somewhere. That's that. And so a lot of people think that because they're moving or following you, that you create a movement. No, I've seen people who have 30,000 people following them and they don't have a movement. They just have random people. Hey, here's Queen Hall, just random people following them and they want to call it a movement. No, because you're not moving people to do something. You're just moving them to follow you. Okay. And so we want to learn how to take people, okay, introduce a lifestyle, okay, lifestyle approach that therefore will bring transformation or change into their life. So that is actually what a movement is. So let's first start with the first thing that I just talked about, which is lifestyle. Great movements or movements in general present a lifestyle that, again, you desire for your tribe members to adopt and walk in, okay? You have to first figure out what is the lifestyle that my brand is presenting to people. Every great brand, every great company you can think of that especially is in retail, especially or lifestyle products, They introduce a way of living, okay, that their potential customers or tribe members appreciated and adopted and brought into their lives, right? And now they have almost a cult following or a strong sense of loyalty from their customers regarding their brand as a whole, right? So this is not just one product. We're talking about an entire brand that people are supporting. Because one of the questions that some of you guys ask is, how do I get people to love my company? How do I get them to love my brand? Well, the first question is, did you create a lifestyle for them to adopt? What's the lifestyle? What is this life that you have created for them, right? If you cannot answer that question, you do not have a movement yet. Okay. Give me a lifestyle first. Give me a way of living. Okay. So let's look this up. What is lifestyle? Lifestyle, by definition, okay, it's hilarious because a song came up, is the typical way of life of an individual, group, or culture. Okay, it is a typical way of life, okay, of an individual, group, or culture. So, what is your culture? What does it look like? Okay, who is a part of this culture? What does it sound like? Right? So, you should be able, literally, what you should do is you should have a notepad or a journal, okay, because I'm all about execution. And what I would do is I would take my pen and I would say, okay, the lifestyle of, and you would write your business name. Okay, whatever that brand is, a lifestyle of. And then I would begin to detail, what does it look like? What does it feel like? What do we believe in, right? What does our culture believe in? And the thing about it is that great brands, this is really big, great brands are not afraid of having a way of life that does not fit everyone's box, right? So what makes your brand unique is going to be the way that you live, the way that you, hey, Nodia Design, the what you believe in. A lot of people, what they want to do is they want to please everybody. So they never create a culture. Listen to me very closely. And this is for those of you who are CEOs. It's going to be hard for you to create company culture if you want to please everybody. Okay, every great CEO will tell you, if you want to create great company culture, have, again, a set of values, a belief system. What is that going to do? It's going to create a culture. Okay, so you cannot create culture if you want to please everybody. What is your brand about? Okay, it can't be what everyone else's brand is about. What is your brand about? What do you represent, right? There's a reason why there are different types of people in this world who believe different types of things. They have adopted a lifestyle that they believe in and they subscribe to, right? So for instance, there are people that I know, I'm gonna get off Instagram because this thing is not working for some reason. So there are people that I know, right? And they have a certain way of living and I don't subscribe to it. But guess what? That's what they believe in. Okay. And guess what? That has created loyalty and belief, right, in that particular viewpoint. Okay. When we look at politics, there are people who are Republicans, there are people who are Democrats, there are people who are kind of apolitical, there are people who are independents. They have created literally a lifestyle, beliefs, systems they believe in, things that they believe is right, right? Guess what though? That creates a lifestyle. That is a movement. Right? That it is what it is, right? Things that they believe in and they've established. So you have to first know what's the movement that you're building. You cannot just say that you are gathering people and you call it a movement. A movement, remember, is what? If anyone remembers the definition, I've said a movement is such where you create a lifestyle that people subscribe to, right? And then it brings forth transformation. Movement, this is the second point. So we know that movement has to have a lifestyle. The second thing is that you have to cause people to move. Okay, listen, do not become a hoarder of people. Okay, so the first thing is what? I have to learn that I have to create a lifestyle. The second thing is that I have to cause people to move. Okay, so you cannot think that just because you have people around you that you are actually causing them to move. What are you driving them to do? What are you inspiring? Maybe it's not driving, but maybe what are you inspiring them to do? And then the question is, are they doing it? Or is at least the majority doing it, right? So we cannot call something a movement if we don't have proof that people are moving, right? And when I get to, especially when it comes to online ministry and ministry in general, and people talk to me, oh, Genesis, how do you create a movement within ministry? One of the biggest things I think steps on people's toes, but I really don't frankly care, is that you cannot continue to say that you're building a movement and your people are not moving. If they're not going anywhere, you have not created a movement. You are simply hoarding people for your own self-interest under the name of God. Okay. Or you're hoarding people under your self-interest for the sake of your business. Okay. But unless you're causing people to move, it's not a movement. Just call it whatever it is. Just call it a business. Just call it whatever else. But don't call it a movement. Okay. Do not call it a movement if you're not driving people to do. What are they doing? Okay, what are they doing? So again, number one is we must create a lifestyle. What is that lifestyle that you want people to walk in and live in? The second thing is that I must cause people to move. How do I get them to move? You get them to move by number one in how you write to them or how you talk to them. You must have movement-based branding, marketing messages, ways that drive them to action. Okay. So if I'm building a movement, I'm driving people to act, and then I'm doing things that hold them accountable to their actions. Right. So this may be through marketing campaigns, and again, these are things where I want them. Remember, you're building a movement, and there are certain beliefs that you have. So then what you do is you have basically calls to action for them to move based on those beliefs. Right. So a perfect example is, especially in politics, right? Politics. Now, I'm not a Democrat nor am I Republican. Okay. So yes. So I'm just going to use that as an example though. So when you're starting a movement, right? A lot of times what we think is, oh, I'm going to get a cool look together. Now I'm going to start hyping people up and be their hype man, and it's not about being a hype man, right? If we look in the political world, when one party feels a certain type of way because they feel like you've infringed on their rights, beliefs, whatever side it may be, or whatever political party it may be, you know what they do? They do a call to action. You know what they say? Listen, if you're with us, if you're on our side, sign this petition. Listen, if you're with us and you're on this side, we're going to march. If you're with us and you're on our side, we're going to have a day where we honor this particular community or whatever, right? So they're not just going to say, oh, we believe in such and such. No, they're going to have a what? Call to action, because it's what? A movement that does what? Gets people to what? Move, right? So this is why, for instance, when I talk to nonprofits, one of my biggest pet peeves with nonprofits a lot of times is that they're not actually creating a movement, right? They're just kind of, I don't know what they're doing, but it's not a movement, right? So like, if I'm going to create a nonprofit that's driven towards, let's say something near and dear to my heart is helping children whose parents are incarcerated, right? So if I'm going to create a movement that's about helping kids of parents who are incarcerated, right? I'm not just going to say, hey, I'm raising funds for the parents, blah, blah, who are incarcerated, support this movement. It's not a movement. Where's the movement? I don't see any movement. What are we calling the movement again? You have to do something where you actually are bringing people together and creating actual movement. If I don't see movement, it's not a movement. Y'all got this? So this is why in great movements, there are action-based activities, right? Whether it's online, whether it's in person, but you have to become a connector, and you cannot be an introvert and a connector at the same time. Okay. So a lot of people want to hide behind a computer, be like this all day. That's not going to work if you actually want to create a movement, because guess what? The biggest leaders of the greatest movements were the ones on the forefront, right? So if you truly say that you have a heart for something, or you are looking to impact a certain community or a certain group, guess what? I need to see you at the forefront. I can't see you hiding behind all the other people, right? So how are you going to become active in the movement that you have created? How are you? Okay, and this is number 3. Number 3 is the first person to move is you. That's the third one. The first person to move is you. And this is where a lot of people get stuck, because they're not consistent. They want, this is big. Oh, this is so big. A lot of people want to create movements, right? They want to get all the glory of being the one to create the movement, but they don't want to move. So you want people to be consistent to follow you, but you won't be consistent to follow yourself. We got to do something about that, right? So if you want to build a movement around a certain passion, or you want to start gathering people, this even works in our businesses. For instance, if I say, listen, I want you to start growing your tribe via online. I want you to be consistent in live stream videos. I want you to be consistent in putting out content. I want you to be consistent in, connecting with more and more people. Most people, I tell that too, they're not going to do it. I'm going to tell you why. Because they want the glory of collecting people and of gathering people and creating a movement and getting customers and tribe members, but they don't want to do the work of the consistency that it takes to build up that attention. So you want all these eyes on you, but you don't want to be dedicated for 30 days to promote yourself. So how are you going to build a movement that way? If you want to build a movement, you have to become addicted to being in front of people, and not for your own sake, but to help them, right? So you have to be the person first to move. Martin Luther King was not waiting on people to get their act together. He said, listen, I'm going to go out here. I'm going to start talking to communities, crowds. I'm going to start instigating the hearts of people so that they can get on this movement. Okay. This man was preaching. He was teaching. He was breaking it down, talking to small groups, college kids, families, communities. So if you're going to drive a movement, then you need to be at the forefront, but you cannot say that you are a leader and you want to hide behind the people. Right? Your job is to lead the people. So you have to learn how to create a movement. This is why for a lot of people, they want to hide behind their brands. It's not going to work. You have to be vocal. If you want to become the boss, you need to be vocal about what it is that you're passionate about. You cannot say, oh yeah, I'm working on this. No, you have to become vocal. And a lot of people are scared of their own voices. And this is why they're not winning. If you want to win, you have to first love yourself enough to be loud enough to rep your brand. And I don't know why I'm going this way, but if that's the way I'm going, that's the way we want to end this, because I don't even want to be long with this video. But the best way to create a movement with free strategies, number one, is to create a lifestyle. Create a lifestyle that you want people to follow. The second thing is that you have to learn how to get people to move. Create calls to action. Get people in it. It's going to take time to build up people's attention, but your consistency is what matters. If people cannot see you to be consistent, they're not going to follow you. They're not going to follow you. Number three, you need to be in the forefront of this movement. If you want people to follow you, you need to get in the front and you need to lead. You must be bold in who you are. You got to be bold. You cannot become rich being shy. Name one person. And don't tell me, well, they aren't on Instagram. Guess what? But they're loud in that boardroom. They're loud when they're doing private deals on a golf course. They're loud when they're negotiating deals internationally from Hong Kong and California. So just because this is why I don't front with people who want to tell me, well, you don't always have to be loud. You don't always have to be on social media. There's millionaires who are on social media. They're not loud. Y'all think these people are mimes or something? What y'all think? They may not have a social media account, okay, but they're loud somewhere. Because if you're going to make money, you got to be loud somewhere. It may not be on social. You may not be posting online all day, but they're posting something. They're posting in that boardroom. They're posting in those cubicles. They're posting in those WeWork locations. Somebody is loud somewhere in order to make some money. You cannot be quiet and demand greatness at the same time. Somebody out of somebody's mouth has to open up and say, this is what I want. This is what I desire. I'm looking to lead people here. This is how we're going to get there. This is what it's going to look like. This is what it's going to be, right? So this is what I'm trying to teach you guys, that if you're going to get people, you got to open up your mouth. Okay. Name for me one movement that was built silently, and I will wait. I'll wait. Silently. That means no marketing campaigns, no one talking to anybody, just complete silence. You name for me one, and I will wait. And I would gladly love to know how they did it. Because not one movement that I've ever seen that's been very successful was created out of silence and being shy and acting like, you could just sit somewhere and people can all of a sudden follow you. Why? This is the thing I want to get into, is why should they follow you? This may hurt, but I had to say it to myself. I had to get myself together before I got to this place. If you want to build a movement, you have to ask yourself, why are you worth following? Okay. Why should I even waste my time to follow? Give me a good enough reason for me to follow you. See, we want to build movements, but guess when they come in the room, you would be all over the place. Some of us, this is just real. If you want to start leading people the right way, let me tell you some things you need to first do. This is about building movements. Some of y'all want free strategies, but I'm telling you, one of the biggest strategies some of you guys need to do is to gather yourself together. Number one, you must learn to have an organized message. Okay. Some of y'all need to write some of these methods down. Okay. I'm going to rewrite it myself. Okay. Listen, because you sound scattered. And I'm not here to attack. I'm here for you to help you get yourself together so that when you get in front of people, people will follow you. Because see, this is the big thing. Let me just talk about this. Sometimes we feel like people are following us because we're really good at attracting crowds. Listen, y'all know what I said when I first started this. Just because you can attract crowds does not mean that you have a movement. People just like you. But people can like you and not pay you. People can like you and support you, right? But it does not mean that you have a movement. Remember, some of us are just crowd hoarders. We're good at gathering people, but we're not good at moving them anywhere. Okay. So what you first must understand is you have to have a clear message, okay, on what exactly you do for people and where you're taking them. Okay. Because people will never follow a scattered shepherd. The sheep are supposed to be scattered, not the shepherd. Okay. You ever heard of a scattered shepherd? No, no, it's only the sheep. But you cannot be a scattered shepherd trying to lead scattered sheep. Okay. It's the sheep that are scattered. They're the ones that say, oh, I need help. I don't know where to go. Oh my God. I don't, right. So the shepherd brings clarity and leads them to a clear path. But see, if someone gives you the mic or you come in front of a crowd or you have an opportunity to pitch yourself and you seem to be all over the place, you need to gather your thoughts and your message and understand why people need to follow you. Okay. So I need to first have an organized message. Okay. What am I? Who am I? What am I about? Okay. And then here's the thing. Why is it important? Why should people care about your movement? What exactly makes it a need to follow? What actual void are you filling in this movement? Or is your movement simply a copycat of everything else that we've heard? It just has different logos, colors, shapes, sounds, and all sorts of stuff. And you're the face of it. That's the difference, right? So give me something worth following. I ask my clients this because it has to be, we got to talk about it. It's like business. What makes you feel like your business should exist? A lot of people, they just want to have a business just to have a business. But why should you exist? There are tons of business. Like, why do you need to actually file your paperwork to become a business? Give me a good enough reason for why I need to eat your food. And a lot of times, you know what? We just make the food, but we don't tell people why they need it. And you wonder why you're struggling because you don't have a clear proposition on why people need what it is that you have. If you give me a clear enough reason, you will have a clear enough path for people to give you their money. Become clear in what it is that you're building, why people should care, why they should invest, right? When you don't make the need clear, you provide a blurry vision. Okay. And it does not mean that you won't get sales. Yeah, you'll probably get sales. But guess what? It'll be from people who don't even really understand themselves what they need or want. They just like you, so they just pay you. But you don't understand that. You think that, oh yeah, they like me. No, they like you, but they don't really understand what the heck it is that you're doing. But they just like you, so they give you their money. That's gonna run out quick because you're not gonna be able to really predict or understand your true tribe's needs. Okay, you guys got this? Okay, good. Let's move on. You need to have an organized message. Okay, number 2, you got to have a bold voice. Okay. You got to have a bold voice. Okay. So let's go back over some of these things. What do I need? What are the 3 strategies I need to create a movement? Number 1, it was that you have to present a lifestyle. Number 2, you have to cause people to move, give them calls to action. Number 3, you have to make sure that you are leading the movement. You cannot hide behind a movement and lead it at the same time. Okay. But then we're going to break down into what will actually begin to be the starting pieces for you to win. The first thing is that you have to have an organized message, right? The second thing that we just hit on is you got to have a bold voice. Okay, you got to have a bold voice. Okay. Great leaders are known for their voices. I didn't say that they were known for their talking. There's a difference. Where did my pen go? Oh, down there. There's a difference between the fact that you like to talk and between the fact that you actually are someone worth listening to. Okay. When people hear your mouth, they need to actually obtain value. So you talking about random things all the time is not going to produce much. Okay. So that means that when you go live, the majority of the time, let's make sure that you actually have an organized focus and that you're not just giving people random bits of your life. Now, I can see if that was like, your kind of lifestyle, you had a talking kind of show, you had a talking kind of content, but you going live randomly or going on tangents just to go live is not going to work much for you as a leader. And I know this may seem a little cutthroat, but hey, somebody has to tell it to you the way that it should be told, right? I'm not here to waste your time. I'm not here for you to watch me talk. Because honestly, I have other things that I could be doing. And honestly, I would like to get my sleep. But my job is to put out content and to make sure that I give you an organized plan of action and thought because that's who I am. right? So you have to make sure that if you're going to waste people's time, make it worth you taking their time. Don't waste it. Okay. So if you want to be seen as a leader, make it to where when people are watching you or hearing you talk, that you're providing value every step of the way. I hear some people talk, and honestly, they're going left, right. They start talking about one thing, then they go to another, and they go to another thing, and they go to another thing. And guess what? You make me worth someone. I'm not gonna follow you because you sound scattered. You sound like you're unorganized, yet you want me to follow you. Where are we going exactly? So you need to make sure again that you have a bold voice, a voice that is clear, a voice that is passionate about what it is that you are providing and teaching. So this is why there is proof to the pudding. If you are a bold person, it will show. Now, I didn't say that, you have to be bold 24/7. Hey, Dion, how are you? But you do have to be bold when it's time to show up. You may be an introvert, but when it's time to make money, your introvertedness needs to go hide in the closet somewhere. People say, that's wrong. You can't say that. So you're telling me that when you walk into a boardroom, you're going to act like an introvert? You don't want to talk to nobody, yet there's money on the table. Is that what you're telling me? Okay. No. And the thing about most introverts is that they're not introverts 24/7. When they get comfortable, they open up, right? That's the thing about most introverts. But you have to learn that when it's time to open up, you need to open up real fast because you will miss what is in front of you. Okay. So you have to learn how to have a bold voice. The other thing is that when you lead people, you need to sound like you know where you're going. Okay. So we don't talk in us, maybes, we'll see. I hear leaders talk and I'm just like, this is you don't do you know where you are? Do you know where are we confident on the destination? Are we confident? No? Okay. Okay, it's time for me to go. Okay. You have to say when you talk, when you speak, let's talk about this because for some of you, this is probably one of the great things you need to work on is the way that you present of yourself. Okay, especially when we talk about your products and your services, right? So I'll give you a perfect example. This is a great book. This is a Christian book by Francis Chan. This is called Multiply Disciples Making Disciples, great discipleship book. Anyway, so this is my product, right? Let's say I'm selling at a product table, right? Or I'm meeting people, right? And I'm saying, oh, yeah, this is my book. This is the book that I wrote, and I just really, just really proud of my product. Yeah, this is just, one of my small books that I wrote. That kind of just wanted to have it. Okay, so let me get this straight. So it took you months to write this book. You paid for the binding, layout, design, all that good stuff. You put all your time and energy into focusing to write the book. And then when it comes time to collect on a book that you wrote or to collect on a service you created, or you spend all that time in your business set up, the website, all that kind of stuff. And when it comes time for you to pitch your business, you sound like a mute mouse. Are you serious? Really? Really? This is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. All the time it took for you to get everything set up, processing accounts, payment gateway, to know about your whole entire business. And then when you get the chance to promote your business, you sound like a mouse that lost their voice. I mean, you literally on mute. This is what we're doing. Is this what we're doing? So see, what that shows me is that you have the confidence to create, but when it comes time for you to collect, you somehow don't remember who you are. Let me tell you something. There is no way. There is no way. No way. Let me hold on. let me restart. No way. No way. I'm leaving without my coins. Okay. I'm not leaving without my coins. Okay. That's okay. And you're going to know me. Okay. That's what you need to sing every single time you decide you need to pull some Dream Girls type stuff. Okay. You're going to pay me, okay? Or you're going to close this deal so I can make this money, okay? You need to, I don't care whatever way you remix the song, okay? But you need to Dream Girls the mess out of your confident situation and pull some checks some coins or some cash, okay? Because you cannot keep on wasting your talents on creating products and services. And then when it comes time for you to close these deals, you're acting like a mute mouse, okay? I don't know why I keep on saying a mute mouse. I don't even know what a mute mouse sounds like, but it sounds like something silent, okay? So we're going to use that, okay? You need to be someone that when you walk into somewhere, you know what it is that you want. You know why you came to show up. If you pay for a $50 vending fee in this time and you got a table, that you better spot that table. Listen, I don't care about anybody else's table. My table is it, okay? I don't care who's next to me, behind me, in front of me, beside me, okay? I am going to be on top of the mountain. I am going to market the mess out of my table. I'm going to show up. I'm going to be ready. I'm not going to be sitting there like just waiting for people to walk on by. Would you like to buy some of my lotion? No, okay. That's how some of y'all look. And I just walk by sometimes like, oh, look at the baby. They're going through it. Oh God. And see, I can't offer free services, so I can't just be like, listen, you look like you need help. You need my coaching. I can't do that. They got to pay to invest in that. But it's like, oh, they took out all the energy to set up their vending table, lay all their products out, and they just let money walk by. And they just stare at the money. This is what some of y'all do when y'all go out of here vending or when y'all go to networking events and y'all just stand in the corner with your little cheese and fruit plate and just stare in the corner. Y'all just, and then here's what y'all say. Oh, I went to that networking event. I didn't really benefit from it. I didn't really, yeah, I went. It wasn't really what it was. That's because when you walked in the room, you planned on family. When you walked into a conference, you planned on family. You planned on, listen, let me tell you something. Oh, if I'm going to build a movement, I need to be visible in my movement. Okay. Okay. Got it. Okay. We're almost done. Okay. About 5 minutes, I'm gonna be done. Okay. So you need to make a goal for yourself. It's how am I going to be visible in me creating this movement? People say, oh, I have a heart and desire to work with teen girls and to help them. And every single time I see you at the supermarket and a teen girl walks by, you silent. You have nothing to say. Are you sure that you've been called? Yeah, and definitely don't add God to this. Please don't do that, especially, oh, I believe that God has called me to build a movement, reaching other young adults, just reaching, I just have a heart for young adults, just have a heart, to reach young adults in this world, this day and time, a lot of people, a lot of young adults not going to church, a lot of young adults, you give me this whole spiel on how God's called you to win young adults. Yet, I see you in silence. Are you sure that God has called you? Are you sure it was God? Or are you sure? Was it that bacon that you ate in the middle of the night that was from Chipotle that you really shouldn't eat? Or was it the carnitas? I don't know. I forgot. Are you sure that it was God? Are you sure? Now you may say that I'm being sarcastically mean or whatever, but I just think it's crazy on how we can be called by God and we don't feel a conviction to be vocal. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Like when Samuel heard God and he was like, wait, is that you? Then God called him again. He was like, wait, is that you? And then finally he was like, oh yeah, this is God. And then he had a conviction. I'm just saying when God called Abraham to go out, and Abraham followed, so he heard his voice. He did what he needed to do, so if you said that you heard God's voice and you didn't do anything, are you sure it was God? Again, I'm not going to stress the point. I just have some questions. That's all. I just have some questions. So if I know that God calls me to do certain things and I'm over here letting people pass me by, blind Bartimaeus was like, Jesus, hold on up. Right? Jesus, listen, blind Bartimaeus was like, listen, bro. I'm paraphrasing this and making this an Atlanta trap version, okay? Blind Bartimaeus in the Bible, blind Bartimaeus, he had been blind, okay? He was tired of being blind. He heard Jesus was coming. He said, listen, bro, listen. I can't see you right now, but listen, I don't know which way. Jesus, I don't know whether you're here or here. Okay, maybe you're behind me, but listen, bruh. Okay, I don't know where you are, but I know you're in vicinity. I can feel you. But listen, bruh. Okay, I need sight. Okay, so I don't know what we're gonna do today. Okay, but you need to heal me. Okay, you need to heal. Oh, bruh, I've been waiting for you. I heard about you. Heard that you can heal the blinded eyes. Listen, okay, I'm tired of being blind. So what you're gonna do is you're going Right? Listen, okay? So Blind Bartimaeus was like, you know what? This would be a good day, to get some sight. I don't know. You know what I mean? I know I heard Jesus come by. I'm not sure. Maybe today. Do I have time? I can't even see a watch. Listen. So you have to realize that if you know that there's something that you want, if you know that there is, a focus for you, you show up because that's what you've been called to do. If I know that I'm here to help, women get free from whatever, why is it that I can't even challenge you to go live once a week or be consistent? Are you sure that you actually, and I'm ending with this because this is a real conviction part. This is what I'm talking about, building a movement. Building a movement takes time, but it also takes consistency. And you have to actually ask yourself, are you really as passionate as you say you are? That's really what I'm trying to get to. Are you sure that this is really what you're trying to build? Because I'm going to tell you something that's the truth. You cannot tell me that you're passionate, but you're not consistent. You're not passionate. And I love you. Believe me, I'm not here to make you feel bad. I'm just here to make you see that you need to correct what you say you're truly passionate about. And if it's not how it should be, you need to make a change about it. Because how dare you say that you are out here to help people change their lives and you won't show up? Okay? You cannot tell me that you are passionate about women and you don't show up for women. You cannot tell me that you're passionate about children and you don't show up for children. You cannot say that you're passionate about helping people launch their businesses and you don't show up to help launch their businesses. You cannot tell me, because guess what? You're going to show me. And people who build transformational movements, they don't just talk about it, they show it. And you cannot try to get the easy way out of building a movement because it takes real commitment. It takes sacrifice, right? And I have learned that and this is really big, because some of you guys are not going to catch this until a little bit later, maybe tomorrow morning. But we live in a world that's addicted to being visible, right? Being seen. Okay. Movements are about building transformation. Okay. And if you are someone who has not worked on especially if you have low self-esteem, okay, get ready for it to be worked on. Because to show up means that you will show up despite how insufficient you think you are, or how you do not think that you're qualified to do what you know you're passionate to do, right? Because at the end of the day, whether I'm an expert or an amateur, or an amateur, whatever you want to say it, I'm still going to show up in whatever capacity that is. If I'm an expert, I show up as an expert. If I'm an amateur, I show up as an amateur. The point is I need to show up because somebody needs what it is that I am building. When I talk about building community, when I talk about building tribe, the reason I'm so passionate about building tribe is because it's about touching people. It's about touching people through products or services that you have created, whether they are surface level impact or deep level impact. The point is that we're building movements, we're building tribes. That's why I call my people boss builders, right? They're boss builders because they're an expert. Even if you're an amateur, even if you start with me as a beginner, you are going to become a boss at some point in time to build. And why do we build? Do we build just to build things just so that we're called builders? No, we build businesses, ministries, platforms, movements, because we actually want to impact people with the gifts that God has given us, whether you're religious or not, whether you believe in God or not. Listen, that's neither here nor there when it comes to you. I just want you to understand that you have to be consistent in building a movement, and it takes time. When I started Girls Royalty, you guys know this story. For a whole year, I spoke to people online. It was maybe like 4 or 5 people. Sometimes it was 1, sometimes it was 0. Right? Which means that today, when there's not a lot of people who come on my live streams, I'm not feeling some type of way. Because at the end of the day, I have thousands in my email list. I have thousands who follow me online. I'm not focused on these numbers, right? Because at the end of the day, my job is impact. And what happens is that I have seen real impact that has manifested into huge amounts of clients and huge amounts of impact and all sorts of stuff, right? So you have to realize that your consistency means something. And we live in a day and age where I remember one person told me, Genesis, you can use your strategy, you can get your lives up just like me. And I'm over here thinking, but you don't got the impact like I got. Yeah, you got a whole bunch of people following you, but they aren't doing anything. They're just watching you talk all day. at least the people who follow me, they're starting their businesses, they're launching them, they're expanding their businesses, they're developing products and services. After watching me, they're increasing their pricing so that they're actually, making what their actual worth is, right? So I'm creating impact. I'm making the impact that I desire. You cannot get caught up in the numbers. You have to realize that your impact is by doing your job. Okay. And as long as you're doing your job, as long as you are not pimping yourself out below your value, and as long as you are placing yourself in environments that are going to help you grow, you're going to be just fine. Okay. So does anyone have any questions? We are done. But does anyone have any questions in regards to what we covered tonight? Just want to make sure I'm giving time. Hey, SB. So I want to open up the floor for maybe about 5 minutes. So does anyone have any questions about building your movement, building your tribe? We covered a lot. Remember, we went over that the 3 strategies to build a movement for free are creating a lifestyle, causing people to move, giving calls to action, okay? Making sure that you are leading the movement, right? Putting yourself in the forefront, right? When you are leading a movement, you got to put yourself out in the forefront. You cannot hide behind people. You have to lead it. You have to lead it. Then we went over 2, really it was 3, but 2 things you do to help you become better as the leader, right? Number 1, you have to make sure, and this is really, really important, make sure that you have an organized message. So like when you go online and you are presenting to people, make sure that you're giving clarity in your voice. We also talk about having a bold voice. You have to be bold. You have to be out there. So Akina Brodiak off of... I love this new feed. So if you're watching me on YouTube, I am using StreamYard. It is a brand new online streaming platform that I'm in love with this. They have a free plan and I am in love with this. And the only thing I wish I could do was stream onto multiple platforms. And I need to see if there's a way to do so because I don't know how to do that. So I'm going to learn, but this thing is absolutely amazing. So Akina Brodiak asks on YouTube, what free strategies do we use in live stream? Cassandra, I got you. But I'm streaming on 2 platforms, so I'm picking out the questions from the platforms, okay? So what free strategies do we use I'm assuming in live stream, right? And you're talking about to gather your tribe, correct? Right? So what strategies do we use in live stream? So number 1, we're going to talk about this in another video I'm going to do tomorrow, which is the actual systems to use when you're building your movement. So number 1, you want to make sure, this is important too. This is important. This is the free plan. This is the free level plan to Renee. So when you're doing your live streams, number 1, I actually have, if you go to my blog, which is genesisdorsey.com and click on blog, there is actually a live stream template, a free one that I have given out that is awesome. It is awesome. Matter of fact, let me pull it up now. So you guys, I'm not going to show it to you, but I'm just going to pull it up on my computer right here. And it is a live stream template that I made. If you go under grow, there's a blogs and articles, and I give you guys how to develop a winning plan for live streaming because you have to have an organized flow when you do live stream, right? So you have to sound organized, and of course, with my live streams, I'm answering questions, doing different things, but there's always a subject, and then I'm hitting the subject. So I even talk on here about how to create a winning start, how to organize. This thing is good. This is good. So to answer your question, go to my blog, go to genesisdorsey.com / I think it should be backslash, let me just double check. Yep. /blog. Okay. Just go to genesisdorsey.com / blog. Okay. So I'm going to just put it on here. And Cassandra, I'm going to get your question. Great question, by the way. Okay. And I'm actually going to do, and this is it right here, genesisdorsey.com / blog. You want to go there, and it's actually the latest article. I haven't written an article since this one. And it's called How to Develop a Winning Plan for Live Streaming. And it comes with a free stream template that you can print out literally right there. And it is amazing. And again, it actually has all the strategies in the blog post on how to pitch products, services while you do the live stream. I'm telling you, this thing is amazing. And it's actually what I use when I do my live streams. Not this one, but like when I do like a more like broken down one. This is really amazing. Okay, so follow that template and you'll be just fine. Let's go to Cassandra. So she asked, when do you offer mentoring? Now, do you mean when should you like offer mentoring like within a movement, or you mean me? So right now I do not offer mentoring. I do offer it for specific people, like people who I've taken on closely by my side. But even with them, I haven't really kind of launched it with them yet either, because my life right, I'm just trying to like honestly figure out a flow for them. But I do not. I don't offer a free mentoring program as of now. I am looking to launch one. However, honestly, a lot of the mentoring that I offer is located within my email list. You get through my emails, following me online. It's kind of like that. But as far as me taking people under my wing, not as of yet. Not as of yet. Not as of yet. Okay. So Cassandra asks, okay, I'm having a conference. What is the best way to build momentum? Oh, I know I'm not going to be doing a video on this, on how to build a movement, especially when you do live events. Guess what? Let me tell you the best way to build conference attendance, especially on a yearly or annual annual way, is create a movement. One of the biggest issues that a lot of people have with doing conferences, events, is that every single year they have to regather the same people. And you would not have to regather people if you actually create a movement, right? So events are not supposed to be the staple the movement is, because events can change, but the movement is going to stay the same, right? So a lot of people say, well, how do you sell out events? You got to build a movement. You really do. You got to build a movement. You have to build something outside of what happens once a year. Because if people only get excited for once a year, I mean, I'm not saying there's something wrong with that, but what sustains events is going to be a movement. So you create an actual community that goes to your event, right? So that your events become annual gathering spots versus, oh, we go to this event, but there's nothing really about, you just kind of just go to the event. Oh, how was just a conference? It's just an event. So the best thing to do is going to be the number one, create a lifestyle. What kind of lifestyle so when you look at your conference, right? Who is your conference for? What does it do? What does it serve? How is it different? How do you meet the need? Right? So that's what you use to create your community. And then what do you cause people to do after attending your conferences? Right? So this is something else too. So people will attend your event, right? But a lot of times they attend people's events out of habit and not out of loyalty or not out of excitement, right? So you want people to come every year to your events excited, right? And not like, oh, well, I go every year. You know what I mean? So the question is, right? The question is, what do you cause people to do when they come to your events? This is how you create strategic events that are actually impactful, right? So look at your conference and figure out, what is our pitch of how we cause people to actually, again, have a transformational experience at our event, right? How do we cause them so that every year that they come back, that they are a different person and it's not the same person they were talking to every year? And this will actually shape even how your events are framed, what you do at your events, right? Because you're going to be continuously thinking about how to get them to a certain place, right? So if let's say you have a financial conference, it's all about helping people become free in their finances, right? So the question becomes, what are you driving them to do? Are you saying that by people attending our events or joining our movement, we're going to teach them on how to reduce debt. We're going to teach them on how to have a healthier mindset about money and how to have a healthy relationship with their money. We're going to teach them on how. So you see how I'm like kind of going through things like what are the life transformational goals, and then how do you actually desire to reach them? Okay. Then the last thing is that, how are you leading the movement? Right? So again, a lot of times we want people to follow, right? We want people to follow us, follow me, follow me, follow me, follow me. And then the question becomes, listen. The question becomes, okay, well, what are you doing to create the excitement? Are you creating excitement? Right? So here's another thing too. If I'm not excited, I can't expect other people to become excited. right? If I'm not intense, right? Okay, the God of R&R. Okay, okay, got it, got it, got it, got it, got it. Okay, got it. So, what are you doing? This other thing too. Leaders must create the excitement first. If they're not showing their excitement, then the people are not going to catch on, right? I'm not saying this is you. I'm just trying to just give an overall strategy, right? So, the way that you build momentum is by you first kicking off the momentum, and that's the thing about a leader. That is the hardest thing a leader has to do. Is you have to carry the excitement. You have to get excited to get your team or those who help you excited to then get the people excited. Okay, people don't just get excited. You have to create the excitement first. It gets them on fire, right? So, what are you doing? What are you talking about? What are you posting about? And then, two, are you getting people alongside of you who can help drawing that movement, right? So, these are things, again, we're going to be doing another video tomorrow. So, guys, stay tuned tomorrow. I do not know the time that I specifically want to do it, but I will announce, or you guys know I do them randomly. So, you kind of have to just check on my YouTube channel or my Facebook. But I am going to be talking about tomorrow, the part 2 of how to create a movement. This time with actual software strategies. So we're going to be talking about actual, like today was more of like the overall strategies. Tomorrow we're going to talk about more about like do this step, and this step, right? So we're going to be talking about email marketing because that's a huge way to build a movement throughout the year. We're going to be talking about how to use social media, right, to really bring in attention. Because too, if you want to expand your conference, you have to expand who sees it. You got to get into the hearts of strangers, right? You can't just talk to the same crowd. So we're going to talk about how to get into strangers, as far as, how to get their attention. Okay, so Ashley Renee asked, let me put her question up. She asked, what strategies do you use to transition from gathering people to creating movement? What strategies do you use to transition from gathering people? By creating an organized path. So if you have all these people, right, you need to give them a focus. You create movement by creating a focus. Going back over having an organized message, having a bold voice, and giving them, what are those 3 things? A lifestyle, causing people to move, right? What are you going to move them to do, right? So this is, if you go to my YouTube channel, there's a video on, I think it's called the 1 sentence pitch, or like the 1 sentence. And it's basically where you, in 1 sentence, sum up what it is that your movement or your platform seeks to do, right? So you may say, okay, so I'm going to pull up mine. Okay, because right on my website. Okay, right on my homepage. So my 1 sentence is, okay, this is it. Okay, let's see. I teach individuals and business owners how to build platforms with purpose that produce profit. Right? So that 1 sentence is very clear what I do. I teach who? Individuals and business owners how to do what? How to build platforms with what? With purpose that do what? That produce profit. So at the end of the day, right, what is it that I'm going to cause you to do? I'm going to cause you to build a platform. I'm going to cause you to build it with purpose, and I'm going to cause you to produce profit. Right? So you need to make sure that in 1 sentence, right, that you are summing up. That's right. That's honestly the best place to start is how do I take people from gathering to creating a movement by creating a clear focus and purpose of what it is that you do and making sure that you do it, right? And creating actions or cause to action that will cause them to do it as well. So for instance, I am teaching you how to build a platform right now. I'm teaching you how to do it with purpose right now. And I'm teaching you how to produce profit eventually. Now, not in this video, but indirectly I am, because if you do this, eventually when you begin to pitch products, it will have more of a clear focus. Okay, Cassandra asked, what is the best way off of Facebook? What is the best way to build the team for the conference? So number one, if it's a church conference, you want to pray. If it's something, dealing with religion, you definitely want to pray. You really want God to give you the right people. Okay, you do not want to just pick the people. You want to you definitely want to I see like a different comment. So yeah, so you definitely want to pray, or you definitely want to, if you're not a Christian, don't believe in prayer or anything like that. You definitely want to look at people that actually solve the needs that you have, right? So you want to look at the needs that you need from your team, right? So if I need somebody who's going to help with logistics, if I need someone that's going to help with the hospitality side, if I'm going to need someone who's going to help with marketing, right? So you want to find people who are actually currently active in doing that, in doing those things, right? So this is important to you. You do not pick people who cannot help you. Okay, because when you're building a company or a team, you need people who are good at what they do currently, not what they did 5 years ago, 20 years ago, but people who are good at what they do and they actively do it either in their careers or I'm not gonna say a hobby, maybe it's like a side business or something like that. They're like an intern somewhere. But you need people who actually have knowledge because in 2019, even in ministry and church, the Bible says that him that wins souls is wise. Okay, not just exist, right? You have to have wisdom. So and especially too, where there's all these different conferences and things, people are doing things just like one another. You need people too who are innovative, people who think outside the box, but not too crazy to the point where they don't want to listen to your vision because you're the one who has it. So you want to find people too who are followers, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but a lot of people don't understand that in leadership, as a leader, you need followers. Okay, like you need followers. That's how it works. There's a leader, and then there are the followers. There are team members. People say, "Oh, what? Well, don't call them team members. I don't want them to sound less than." That's the problem with a lot of times with leadership is that people don't understand their roles, right? So you also want to have people around you who understand their roles. They are following your vision. It's just like working for a company. Someone had a vision. This is what we do. This is why we do it. And we look to fulfill it. And that's my job. Same thing with building a team. Make sure you have people who are humble, people who aren't trying to learn how to do their own conference. And so they come on your conference, they try to hijack or they try to, twist it to make it into their conference. No, this is my conference. This is the conference that God gave us. This is how we're doing it. This is what we're going to do it. This is how we're going to do it. Right. So these are the things that you really want to think about when you're building great teams. This is again, whether you're Christian, not a Christian, this is because I have people follow me. They're all, they're different religions. Some of them are, non-religious. So whatever way you go, just make sure that you're getting people who understand what it is they do, that they're experts at what they do, and that they actually have a team mindset, because some people have a very singular mindset. So make sure that people are coming in with we are a team, right? We're a team supporting a vision. We want to meet that vision. We want to meet that goal, right? And make sure too that as a leader that you listen to your team members, right? And make sure that you don't have people on your teams who may hijack. Sometimes you got to watch some of these team members. Okay. So you just want to make sure that you as a leader too, that you are, that you hear their concerns, hear their needs, and that you really serve as a great leader, right? And that's the great other thing too, is that being a leader is not about being the boss. It's really making sure that them being on that team, that's also going to benefit them, right? So put people in roles that they actually are good at. That way they can learn more by serving your conference, right? You want to make sure that it's a 50% benefit. It's a win-win situation, okay? Jessica Toussaint asks, how often should we be speaking to our audience as a service-based organization? How do you gather to build a movement for both local and online? Great question. So it depends upon your business. Now, for service-based, again, what kind of service-based organization is it, right? Like what kind of service-based organization is it? Because that really does depend on what you do. So while you're answering that, I'm going to answer Akita's question, which is, do you suggest a certain number of times that we become visible weekly or monthly? So for me, if you're in e-commerce, 2 to 3 times a week, you should be sending out email marketing. You guys know that is my rule. Social media posts should be going out every day, if not multiple times a day. But if you can't do that, just at least do a post a day. So a post a day, email marketing 2 to 3 times a day. This is for retail, okay? And making sure that you're doing live stream at least twice a week. If you're service-based, at least 1 email a week, at least just one. Just send one out to your community, 1 a week, and then do live streams at least once a week. Okay. So, and then as far as social media, at least do a post once a day. Okay. And that is how you need to be visible, at least through online measures. You also need to make sure that you go to at least 2 networking events or social events a month that actually would cater to the benefit of your business or organization, right? So you need to make sure that you're also visible locally, right? Make sure that you're a part of local organizations. If you're in business, make sure you're a part of, go on meetup.com and join some relatable organizations or clubs that are going to definitely expose you to more people, not for a selfish benefit, but also to, when you go in a networking event, stop being selfish. Someone else actually may need your help too. So don't come in trying to like suck people's hearts dry. You can be of help too. So making sure that you're also coming into organizations or groups to help. So Jessica Toussaint, she said that they service young adults. We provide young adults with tools and techniques to achieve their goals. Okay, so because you're focusing on young adults and they have a high saturation of content, from all over, you need to make sure that you're talking to them, I would say, at least once a week, going to at least once a week, via email, social media, at least once a week. But the best way to build up with online or even in-person organizations, especially with young adults, is to go where the young adults are. Like a lot of people say, oh, I don't know where my target market is. Everyone knows where their target market is. Everybody. There's not one person I can think of that does not know where their target market is. So go where the young adults are, talk to young adults, get their information, get their emails or whatever it is they use. If they use text, listen, find out how they want to talk to you and you create that opportunity. Okay, you create that opportunity. Okay, but find out how to talk to them. Okay, and create that opportunity. Okay. Okay, so Ashley Renee says, what apps do you suggest for scheduling posts? Y'all, you see, y'all getting me into the soft. This is about to be tomorrow. Yeah, come on now. But anyway, the apps that I use, it depends upon what you're posting on. Buffer, Buffer, is one of my personal favorites. It does auto scheduling posts for Instagram, for Facebook, for LinkedIn, other platforms. They have a really cheap plan. It's like $10 a month, and it's a really great. They do have a free plan, but the free plan only allows you to use up to so many posts. So I would definitely get the paid one. Hootsuite is another one. I do not like that platform. It's fine, but I've had a lot of client issues who've used that platform. So I like Buffer. If you have a brand that is strictly on Instagram, or just Instagram and Facebook, then I highly suggest that you use Planoly. Planoly is what I personally use for my Instagram scheduling. I love it personally. It's my go-to. It is my go-to. And then if you are a blogger, then you want to use platforms like CoSchedule. CoSchedule is a great platform. If you're like a WordPress blogger, and you put out content like blog, you want to schedule blog content, you want to schedule social media content. I personally love CoSchedule if you are doing like larger amounts of content on different platforms. Okay. You want to make sure that your email marketing is auto scheduled. So you guys know that you can use different ones: MailChimp, MailerLite, all these different ones that are available. ConvertKit, which is now Siva. I was looking at another company today called Moosend. Constant Contact. There's so many different ones. So it's about it's about finding the right one. You want to find the one that works for you. So you say, oh, well, which one's the best one? Listen. It's about whichever one works for you. Okay. So again, MailChimp is my favorite. It's free up to 2,000 users. So I think that's a great goal to build up to. MailChimp, I use MailerLite. MailerLite is free up to 1,000 contacts, but you need to have a professional email. Constant Contact is for my bloggers. So if you are a blogger, or like an expert or a consultant that sells their knowledge. Sorry, not Constant Contact. Oh my God, delete that comment. Let me delete this off. Not listen to that. Nope. Sorry. I meant ConvertKit, which is now called Siva. They really need to change their name. But they haven't changed it completely. And so this is for bloggers or experts or consultants that sell their knowledge. However, I use MailerLite. I'm an expert consultant that sells their knowledge, and MailerLite is amazing for me too. So I think we are good. And then as far as auto scheduling apps, for Cassandra, Buffer, for all platforms, and then you want Planoly, which is what I use for Instagram and Facebook. Now you don't need to use Planoly and Buffer. You just need to pick one. Okay. Later is also another one for all platforms. So just pick one. Okay. Guys, I want you guys to have an awesome rest of your night. Someone said, I think this is spam, but someone said, I would like to start a movement that inspires you to spend your time and money enriching my lavish lifestyle. Any suggestions? Don't start it. That you need to just get a job. Listen, if you want to start a movement that inspires you to spend where people have to spend their money and time, and all they're doing for you is just giving you a rich lifestyle. Number one, it's not gonna last too long. I mean, and there are people, of course, who do that. But you're not gonna, I mean, I don't, that's not what we do over here. So you're not gonna be happy. So for Vago Mega, whatever, that's not like a disease, but whatever, Vago, y'all listen, Vago, you're trying to tongue twist me. Okay, let's not do this. Okay, but if you would like to start a movement that inspires you to spend your time and money enriching your lavish lifestyle, I don't know, maybe become a pimp. I think that would probably be my best suggestion. I would not advise it, but that sounds about along the lines that you're talking about. Okay. Anyway, guys, listen, listen. You never know what to expect. Anyway, guys, I love you guys so much. I will be on live tomorrow. Okay. So if you have any questions, if you're watching the replay, just simply provide your questions and I'll make sure that I get to them tonight. Shout out to YouTube, guys. Do you love this software that I'm using? Because I love this StreamYard. I love how I can show the questions and stuff. This is like so dope. I know that Be Live is like this, but this is better than Be Live in my opinion. So this is like really awesome. So guys, again, good night. I will talk to you guys later. So I'm gonna say bye to Facebook. See you guys later. And then I'm gonna say bye to YouTube. Bye guys. See you later.